Well, I'll tell you, it won't make a difference at all, Jake, and that is for Donald Trump to be the ringleader of and invite all his clowns to a place like the Bronx. He wants to spend his time doing these made-up fake rallies and pretending their support here. Be my guest.
By the way, he's doing it in the South Bronx not to make a point, but because he's got court.
One of the things that I found was that there were a lot of people here that were actually from the Bronx.
I will say this rally did look a lot like America.
What would you say to a black person that says that you're not black because you're voting for Trump?
Well, then I guess I identify as a white man.
Those clips were from words that I never thought would come out of my mouth: a Donald Trump rally in the Bronx. Now, first and foremost, I want to say I don't think Donald Trump is going to be winning New York anytime soon. I guess anything is possible, but it is highly unlikely. However, there is no doubt that if Trump had held this rally in 2016, it would not have had the response that it did. So as you heard, Kathy Hochul and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez were mocking this in the lead up to the rally, with AOC's stupidity revealing the reason that they are doing the trials in the first place. Again, I don't think many people would be suggesting Donald Trump is going to win New York, but it's hilarious to listen to the media have to admit that this is a win for the Trump campaign and their overall look.
What else really stood out to you about the rally?
I will say this rally did look a lot like America. There was a lot of Asian voters there. There were a lot of Hispanic voters, a lot of black voters there, which is not typical for a Trump rally that I go to when I'm in Wisconsin or Michigan. Yeah. So that's what was fascinating.
But it is a cross-section of New York.
Exactly, exactly. And that's specifically why Trump was there yesterday. Those are key demographics that he sees are starting to break for him just a little bit. That door is opening for Hispanic voters to start voting for Trump in record numbers. They want to capitalize on that in this election. They think if they do, it'll spell success for them.
What was the crowd like, and what kind of response did he get?
Well, certainly a bigger crowd than I think Democrats would like to see, particularly given this is one of the bluest counties in the entire country. Now, one of the things that was interesting to me is that the Trump campaign said that they were going to micro-target to get people from the community to come to this rally. I wasn't sure what to expect. I've gone to a lot of these rallies across the country, and there are often people who travel hundreds of miles to see Donald Trump, and they're not necessarily part of the community. However, one of the things that I found was that there were a lot of people here that were actually from the Bronx.
Obviously, the media is making this about race, but the more important thing is that this really highlights the unpopularity of the Biden administration and how their policies have been negatively affecting the population.
What about Joe Biden? How is he doing in terms of an incumbent in a primary?
Yeah, everyone's saying that Donald Trump's doing weak. It's actually Joe Biden, in my mind, in the primaries that's doing weak, at least relative to history, because right now he's getting 87% of that primary vote for an incumbent, but that's actually the lowest. That is actually the lowest for any candidate since George H.W. Bush back in 1992 when Pat Buchanan challenged him. Of course, we all remember, at least I remember, that George H.W. Bush lost re-election in the fall to Bill Clinton.
Of course, it would not be a New York City event without the Hamas protesters showing up. If you want to know the reasoning of the people who decided to come out to the Bronx rally, there was a bunch of different interviews with people who were in the crowd, and here are some highlights. And while you're watching these, remember Joe Biden is the most popular president in American history.
Joe Biden's policies has failed. It's failed us when in terms of the economy, in terms of his illegal immigration, in terms of the environment. I mean, these policies only hurt black people. It doesn't help them.
Are you surprised to see this much support in the South Bronx? You grew up here, you know the people, you know your neighbors. I doubt everybody out here is a Trump fan, right?
Right. There are a lot of anti-Trump people in my neighborhood, but still, some of them believe and are coming to vote for Donald Trump because they believe in economic success and they believe in lowering crime.
But the crime, the economy, and also immigration, what have you noticed with kind of the migrant crisis, specifically in New York alone? How has it impacted your neighborhood?
Well, for one, illegal aliens are being transported to communities near me, to shelters near me, and that's upsetting. Why can't we help the homeless veterans instead, the homeless American veterans? Instead, we're helping illegals.
Where are you from?
The
Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. This is home, right here.
AOC says if you're not a Democrat, you don't belong here in the Bronx.
Right.
What do you say?
I disagree with that.
I don't think she should be here in the Bronx. I actually don't know any Democrats living in the Bronx.
Look, AOC, look at the tremendous support for Mr. Donald J. Trump.
You need to tell her then she need to stay out the Bronx because look at all the people around. Everybody's here for Trump.
I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
And who are you voting for?
Donald J. Trump.
What has AOC done for the Bronx?
She's done nothing for the Bronx. Nothing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gotten any better.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Let her come to the Bronx and let her come among us people that struggle. She doesn't even know what struggle is.
I think you stand with Trump.
I'm not stupid.
I could tell the minute I saw you, your eyes lit up when you saw the Trump flags. As I told her, you know why you stand with Trump? Because beautiful people stand with Trump.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Huh?
How's your drink? That drink looks
It's really
beautiful.
good.
Really
It's
good?
a mocktail.
Mocktail is delicious.
One of the vendors.
So what was your answer? Why do you stand with Trump?
I stand with Trump because he's basically representing us, and everything that they're doing to him is what they can do to us.
Yeah.
And the system is broken, and you know, he's fighting for us, you know. So I like his policies. I like how he says it like it is, and you know, and Biden gotta go. I'm sick of him.
And what would you say to a black person that says that you're not black because you're voting for Trump?
Well, then I guess I identify as a white man. I don't know. I don't care what anybody has to say. I'm a mother. I care about the future of my child, and I care about policies over, you know, rhetoric.
Well said.
You said you've always voted Democrat, but this year it's going to change. Why is that?
Because I've seen the change go for the worse. With the Bidenomics, with the Democratic Party, I've been Democrat all my life. And Donald Trump, he just has the right answers. He's speaking on illegal immigration, all the money pouring out of the country, people losing their jobs, the economy is failing. And at 60 years old, I realize now that we have to support Donald Trump and make things better.
A deep blue area right in the Bronx, but a Trump rally here. Not many people would be expecting to hear that here in New York City, but that's exactly what's happening. I'm going to step out of the way so we can just kind of give you a quick look at some of what we're seeing out here at Crotona Park in the Bronx. The former president, Donald Trump, has said he is going to make a play for New York, Martha, focusing on crime, inflation, immigration, and he's ready to get out here, and people here say they're eager to hear what he has to say. Watch.
I'm here because I'm so grateful that Trump came to the toughest, most aggressive, most, I could say, dangerous towns in the country. Thank you, Trump, for coming.
I think Donald Trump is going to be great for us again. You know, I felt he did a lot of remarkable things. He did overseas with like Japan and Russia. Everything that he did, he helped the economy. So I feel we need to elect him again and have him into the office.
You see black support going up with you, Hispanic, young people. Like I said, the people look more like me than you, and they say you're different. Why?
Because I did things in office that nobody else has done. Criminal justice reform. I did criminal justice reform at a level that nobody thought was possible to get. And I did that largely for the black and Hispanic community. They're the ones that wanted it. Opportunity zones with Tim Scott. And he was so much in favor of it. And it's probably maybe the best economic development package ever for African Americans, for Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans. We did a lot of things that people couldn't believe we were able to get done.
Then we have the illegals flooding our borders, coming into our communities, sucking up the resources that we barely have. Why should we allow this to happen? Every last person here needs to rise up and get fighting mad, and make sure that you are registered to vote and go out there and you vote up and down the line, not just the presidency. The local elections are more important than the presidency. Get rid of AOC. Vote her ass out. Get rid of Richie Torres. Vote his ass out. I have nothing to lose. So I can stand up here and I can say this. None of you here are paid to be here. this morning and said that Trump busted in these people and paid everyone out here. Who here got paid to be here today? Are you here because you know that this is the time in history that you're in the right place at the right time and you need to be here today?
President Trump, oh man. One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say. They always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us. Make America great again.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Look, we had the greatest economy in history. Everybody here, where you have a small business or if you had a job, you were getting more than you ever made. And we had no inflation. We had no 1.4%, considered none, considered better than none, because frankly, none in its own way is a bad thing also. We had a perfect number, 1.4%. It doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or white or whatever the hell color you are, it doesn't matter. We are all Americans, and we're going to pull together as Americans.
I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Well, then I guess I identify as a white man.